Get ready for the biggest stories hitting your feed right now. We start with entrepreneur and former Shark Tank star Mark Cuban, revealing 3 critical moves he insists you make if you win the lottery. He breaks down exactly how to handle that life-changing windfall, telling you whether to take the annuity or the lump sum, and why you absolutely should not invest that money. This is essential financial wisdom you need to hear immediately.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This ALAN 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, Mark Cuban is dropping some serious advice on the future of work. He is urging every employee to challenge AI output, not just accept it, and explaining precisely how to test those systems to secure your job stability. Learn from Cuban how to build the right guardrails and context to make AI a powerful tool instead of a fast track to redundancy. We pivot now to the tech world with an exclusive look at billionaire investor Mark Cuban and his perspective on the next generation of earning. Cuban is sharing his thoughts on encouraging teenagers to explore artificial intelligence as a potential side hustle that could prove incredibly profitable for them in today's market. This is a game-changing idea for young entrepreneurs. And finally, we look at the Dallas Mavericks and the massive leadership shakeup. Mark Cuban explained why hiring former Toronto Raptors GM Masai Ujiri was the absolute right move for the Mavericks as they head into the offseason. We dive into how Ujiri's experience can transform the team's direction and what this means for the future of the franchise. Stay with us, because this is the full breakdown. Entrepreneur and former Shark Tank star Mark Cuban has offered crucial financial guidance to lottery winners, emphasizing a strategy of caution and long-term thinking following a massive jackpot win. Speaking to Benzinga regarding the Mega Millions jackpot reaching $1.1 billion in 2024, Cuban advised against immediately taking the single lump sum payout of approximately $528.8 million. Instead, he recommended opting for the annuity option, which provides a steady income stream of about $23 million annually for 30 years, urging winners not to risk the entire sum in a single transaction. Cuban strongly cautioned against investing the winnings, stating that winning the lottery does not automatically make one a smart investor. He suggested that winners should prioritize financial security by placing the money in a bank to ensure long-term comfort, noting the extremely low odds of winning another jackpot. Beyond investment advice, Cuban stressed the importance of professional legal counsel. He recommended that lottery winners immediately hire tax attorneys to navigate the complex state and federal tax laws associated with such large winnings. Furthermore, he advised establishing a clear strategy for giving, suggesting winners determine how they will manage requests from family and friends, and how they will support charitable organizations, emphasizing the need to consult with a tax attorney to structure charitable donations effectively and minimize tax liability. Mark Cuban is issuing a strong warning to employees regarding the use of artificial intelligence, urging them to actively challenge AI-generated output to maintain job security. In a recent post on X, Cuban advised that the safest approach is to engage critically with AI results, probe for errors, and develop the skills necessary to articulate findings to managers and colleagues. He emphasized that achieving valuable results demands significant preparatory work, including establishing robust guardrails and supplying comprehensive background information before trusting any system. Cuban positions AI not as a replacement for human thought, but as a competitive colleague or external advisor, stressing that the ultimate responsibility for judgment remains with the user, as AI does not weigh outcomes in the same manner as people. This perspective aligns with Cuban's broader critique that businesses must recognize the distinct capabilities of different AI models, warning against wasting resources on incorrect implementations. The core theme across Cuban's recent commentary is the intersection of cost, job security, and responsible AI deployment. He cautions against the passive use of AI, stating that simply regurgitating output without scrutiny is a fast track to potential job loss, noting that most users fail to provide the necessary context and rules for superior AI performance. Cuban describes AI as powerful yet potentially misleading, capable of sounding certain while being incorrect, thereby heightening the necessity for internal verification processes. To mitigate risks, Cuban recommends treating AI output as something that must be stress-tested to identify failures, rather than accepting the first draft. He advocates for front-loading the process by meticulously defining constraints and background information before deploying AI in production workflows. Furthermore, Cuban has stressed the importance of protecting intellectual property during experimentation, cautioning against casually posting valuable work online that could be scraped by chatbots. Cuban further suggests that the gap in AI adoption often stems from senior leadership's lack of understanding regarding proper AI setup. He calls for employees who can effectively challenge models, apply sound judgment, and clearly communicate trade-offs. Ultimately, Cuban advocates for workers to use AI as an opponent to test ideas, rather than as a tool that passively generates their work. In separate remarks, he has also encouraged younger generations to explore AI as a potentially lucrative side hustle. Billionaire investor Mark Cuban has offered reassurance to his daughter regarding future employment, stating, "You're always going to have a job if you." This statement, reported by the Times of India, highlights a perspective from a prominent investor on career stability. The news snippet is juxtaposed with information from the TOI Tech Desk, which emphasizes its role as a dedicated journalistic team focused on delivering the latest and most relevant technology news to its audience on YouTube. The Tech Desk covers a broad spectrum of the tech world, including gadget launches, reviews, trends, in-depth analysis, and breaking stories across areas such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, personal gadgets, and major platforms like WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, all delivered with a commitment to accuracy and authenticity. The Dallas Mavericks are undergoing a significant off-season transition, including changes in leadership following the departure of Nico Harrison. In a move that signals a strategic shift, ESPN reported that the team has hired former Toronto Raptors general manager Masai Ujiri as team president and alternate governor. The decision has garnered support from the franchise's majority owner, Mark Cuban, who has publicly endorsed the hiring, citing Ujiri's experience and his connection to the organization's past. Cuban stated that Ujiri's previous owner in Toronto shares similarities with Patrick Dumont, suggesting the move will ease the transition for the organization. Cuban's approval underscores the belief that Ujiri's credentials, established through his success with the Raptors, set a high standard for the Mavericks. Despite the leadership shakeup, the 2025-26 season proved challenging for Dallas. Following the acquisition of Cooper Flagg with the first overall pick in the previous draft, optimism was tempered by Kyrie Irving's absence and Anthony Davis's health struggles, leading the Mavericks to finish the season with a 26-56 record, placing them 12th in the Western Conference. However, Flagg's development has shown significant promise, highlighted by his ROTY award, positioning him as a potential future star. To correct course, the Mavericks will need to heavily invest in building the next roster around Flagg. With Masai Ujiri now in a key front office role, his proven track record in assembling championship teams, including leading the Raptors to a title, validates Mark Cuban's confidence in the new president. This infusion of seasoned leadership is expected to provide the necessary momentum for the Mavericks to make aggressive roster moves in the offseason, potentially transforming the squad into a playoff contender.